Welcome to the Rochester City School District e-learning. This is our homepage at elearning.rcsdk12.org. We are on the homepage, and you can see here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 links at the top that you can browse. The home will just give you a little summary of what we're doing here at RCSD e-learning. If you click on our About link, you'll learn a little bit more about some of the programs, just quite briefly. And then if we actually click on the programs, you'll get a little summary of each one of the programs that can be found within our e-learning environment. You can also click on the educators, and from our top down, our directors and associate directors, you can see that we have all of our teacher on assignments here for the department. And under contact, you can contact Glenn Vanderwater, Kevin Lyden, Mark Powers, depending on the information that you are looking for. And over here on the right, and you saw that this kind of followed us, is our resources for students. They can access the parent portal, they can access their brain prop and discovery education, the homework hotline that we have here in the Rochester City School District, and of course the student email link. You also have two links that will follow you no matter which one of these tabs that you are going to click on. These login tabs will follow with you, and you can click on either one of them to actually get into the e-learning environment. I'm just going to click back on the home page, and I'm going to click on the login to e-learning. All the students are going to log in here, teachers also. The students are going to be using their last 6 digits of their student ID, and then of course they'll be using their first initial of their first name, first initial of their last name, and then their full year of birth. And I'm going to show you the student view. And the first thing that we see is the actual student dashboard for the e-learning environment. You have 2 tabs up here. You have the home, which will bring you to your home. This is your dashboard home. And then if you click the hat, it will actually take you to the specific courses. It'll give you a nice list of the courses that you are registered for. And this student, just for training purposes, only in the Regents Prep for Global. So another way to get to that would be just over here in your My Courses. You can see if I hover over the Regents Prep name, it is a link. And underneath that, I actually have some more hot links: view, grades, objectives, and activity. And we'll get back to those in a sec. On the left-hand side of this view, you're going to see the due soon. Right now, there's nothing here because I don't have any assignments that are due. If I did, this would show up. This course is not going to have anything pop up in this area because we don't have specific due dates on these assignments. If you do look down here, though, announcements, this is where, if your teacher sends you an announcement, this is where you will be able to read that announcement, click on it to actually go to that specific announcement. And when we come back in as a student, after we show the teacher view, we're going to show you how that's going to change. But for right now, let's get right down to it. Let's see how we, as a student, we're going to navigate this Regents Prep Global Review. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click the hot link View, which is going to take me to my actual course, and it's going to give me a nice little course overview telling me that the course, how it's breaking down. And then on the left-hand side is where all my content is going to be. This middle screen here, this is where all my content is going to be displayed. And this is where I can actually maneuver through each one of these folders. And they're just simple drop-down. If I click on that little triangle, I'll have that drop-down menu. And here, all those options are going to open up for me. Alright? So, the first thing that we want you to do is, of course, read over the course overview. And then we have this register for Fresh Prep. Just put a nice little screenshot in here just to give you a little idea what Fresh Prep is. Do is click on this link here, and this screen will pop up to register. You create your own username. Remember, all students now, all of our high school students have an email address, their Live at EDU accounts. You can use that account, or you can use any other personal email account that you have. For your school or organization, just put down RCSD and create your own password. And once you do all of that, you will be then able to access all of the Fresh Prep resources. So I'm gonna, after I do that, I'm gonna, when I register, I'm gonna click on my Fresh Prep multiple choice. So you can see here I have that quick login. So I'll just come in and log in. And once I am in, you can see here that they give me the lyrics to the song, and if I want to hit play, all I have to do is hit play. We have our vocabulary lists. They're going to be in the beginning of each theme. You can see that I'm under the folder Belief Systems and Philosophies, and these are my vocabulary cards. There's 27 of these that are associated with this theme. And I can go through on the right hand and the left hand side to filter through these. These are right now, they are set to flashcard mode. There are 4 different modes. I can go scatter, which all I will do is drag the definition to the specific vocabulary word and it will disappear. If it's correct, both the word and the definition will disappear. I also have the learn option, which gives me the definition, and I can just type in the answer. Or I can actually be told the word and spell the word.
5 Pillars of Islam.
Under each vocabulary set, we're going to see this little question mark, right? You can see that I have these open, these 3 themes, and it's consistent that the vocabulary comes and then you see a question mark. This is your practice. This is going to be your multiple choice practice within this theme. All of the questions on these once we enter this practice is all going to be associated with belief systems and philosophies. And all I have to do is hit the start button at the bottom, and I want to hit yes. And you can see that I have my multiple choice questions. So for the training, I'm just going to come in here and answer some questions fairly quickly. Most of our practice items are going to range from anywhere from 12 to 20 questions. Just depends on how many questions we have in the bank. So once I've answered all my questions, I'm going to come down here and click submit. And it says you have not answered 1 or more questions. Are you sure you want? So I should say, oh wow, I better check to see which ones I missed. I'm going to scroll up here and see that I skipped over number 4. And that looks like I should be all set. Yes. Submitting, and then automatic feedback. It tells me which ones I got correct, tells me which one I got wrong, and it tells me the score. And over here is the general score that I just got was a 13, and you can also see that 13 right there. So as a student, I can now read over these, get the correct answer, study them a little bit, and I can retake this just by clicking retake. Here's the thing. We have approximately 60 plus questions for each one of these themes, so that does not mean you're not going to get these same questions. You can take this quiz or these practice items over and over approximately 3 to 4 times without ever seeing the same question again. So that's a nice thing that you can continually practice in those themes with more problems. When we're done, so obviously I have to do a little bit more studying in my belief systems with these questions that were taken from old Regents exams. So I can see under belief systems that I have this little paper here with some, it looks like it's got writing on it, and it says Belief Systems and Philosophies Review. And I'm going to have some review page. So I have my review and I have something that says watch. I have 2 tabs here. So now that I've gotten to my main page, I'm going to click on my arrow on this left side. It's kind of small, but if you click it, it opens this up full so that you can scan down here and review the content that's on the page. At the very bottom of most of these pages, you can go to the traditional Regents Prep site here, and you can just click on visit this page. When you get to that site, make sure that you use these left links to go through and get more information about each one of these topics. But if I scroll back up to the top and I click on watch, we are going to have a variety of different media. Some are going to be videos.
In this presentation, you're going to learn more about the different belief systems that have shaped the world
which will help review. And we also have some embedded slideshows that you'll see in some of the other courses. And if I want to get back here and I want to go back to my course, I can just find that little arrow again, click on it, and I have all of my themes here. And I can continue to go down here so you can see that I have a belief system student study guide that I can also use. And I can print this out. I can have my teacher print this out. This is something here that all I have to do is come to print. If I'm in a room that has printing abilities, I can print that out to use as I'm watching the videos, as I'm reading the content, and this will just help me in my efforts to maximize my time here. To finish up each one of our themes, our folders, we do have a fresh prep song, and the nice thing is once you sign in up at the top here for fresh prep, it's going to remember you so that when you come through here you're not going to have to do that each time. What I'd like you to now focus your attention on is the thematic essay practice. We do have some essay practices in here. There's also a quick little fresh prep song to listen to that's going to kind of help you get ready for this. It's going to tell you some strategies that you may want to use. And if you click on the assessment, here you go. We have our thematic essay on belief systems. So it's going to tell us the theme of our thematic essay. And we have some just general guidelines that you want to keep in mind when you are completing. I'm going to hit start. Here's my directions for my part 2, my thematic essay. This should all look very familiar to everyone. And once they're done and they have completed, now they have two options, right? This is probably an essay that may not get done within the time frame if I was in a classroom, so I can save it, or I could submit it. If I'm going to continue and do more work on this, I'm definitely going to hit save. When I have completed it and I want to send it to my instructor, I am definitely then going to hit submit. And you can see here that a status says submitted. I can retake it if I need to, or I can click done. You can see here we also have our DBQ practice. Again, we have that fresh prep, nice little organize, analyze. Click on the first DBQ. We have our instructions. This will say start, but since I already started it, it's going to say continue because I saved it. I wanted to show you that feature. So you can see here that I have all of these documents, and underneath it I have all my workspace. And you'll see here at the end I have an essay with my instructions. I would hit submit. And then that will be sent to my teacher to review. Daily Regents review questions, which is our 15-day review. You can see that for each day we have a set of multiple choice questions, we have a constructed response, and we have a writing prompt for students to complete. And they follow the same way as the DBQs and the thematic essays. Last but not least, at the very bottom of this course we have something called our Global History Games, and again we're going to go back to that fresh prep site, and it just gives us some options, some matching, some map it outs, timeline, what's the word change. It just gives us some options. I view. If I hit grades, I can come in here, and this is going to take me directly to my gradebook, the student gradebook. So I'm going to see how well I'm doing in this course. You can see here my global student, I got 20 out of possible 200. I've completed 3%. You can see when I submitted it, what score I got. You can also see here I don't have a score yet because it's just submitted. It hasn't been finalized. When the teacher goes into on their side and finalizes these, then we'll see that turn into a score. It's your activity. This is really going to give you a breakdown of how much time the student has spent in each section. So if I started this, I know exactly how many minutes and how many seconds that I spent going through this coursework. If I want to get back out of here and click view.